Alright, what is up, gamers and gentlemen? We're gonna redo the intro because we were not live on YouTube. I had a quick, my stream key reset. Probably because we were in LA, if you guys caught that. A lot of people did it. I don't know why. I think it's because just how algorithms work. And you guys only watch me when I do Marvel Rivals, so it just didn't push it. I was in Los Angeles, the City of Angels. What were we doing there? What were we doing in the City of Angels, chat? Well, actually, it was in the other City of Angels, that being in Holland yesterday. What were we doing in the City of Angels, chat? We were playing Battlefield 6. It was pretty great. I'm trying to find the, well, let's have some clips. I have a picture here somewhere. Look at that. Beautiful Battlefield 6 jacket they gave us. It's the epitome of gaming as a gamer, and that's the best thing you can know. But if you're still looking for some Squad of 4 action, then oh boy, do I have the game for you. Thank you to EA for sponsoring this video. With destruction, new content, maps, but most importantly, a return to its roots of Battlefield 3, 4, and even a little bit of Bad Company 2, a game that a lot of us know and love. Battlefield 6 is amazing, and you can try it out yourself this and next weekend for free. That's August 9th to 10th and 14th to 17th. Without having to pre-order or anything else, check out the link in the description. And I've done like minimal prep for this, but I just wanted to talk about it. I've been looking at this like on my, let's do a little full screen. What is up, guys? So I want to talk to you guys about something that's been showing up in my feed the last few days. It's been a pretty controversial change that is coming in Marvel Rivals Season 3.5. It is something people have pretty divided opinions on, and I think I might be like one of the few who actually likes it. So let's talk about what that change is, why I like it, and I probably can't convince you that it's a good change, at which point I'll just point and laugh. I'll say jokes on you because you're adding it. Who knows, maybe they'll revert it. Probably not. They don't always revert things. So what is it I'm talking about? I've been barely keeping up with the patch notes. I don't even know half of the things they are changing this patch. I don't even know. They're adding Blade, you guys tell me? I've been too busy. I've been in LA playing Battlefield. I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm so out of the loop. You definitely need to get back in the loop, but that was just part of being away. So what's happening in 3.5, something I think is really cool, personally. It's really funny because Reddit is like all up in flames about this. It's so funny. So fucking funny. Top, and is like the last, let's see, week. So this one is funny as hell, but I love that. That is really cool. But I was looking for the patch notes. Hold on. 3 days ago. Three days ago. What an odd thing to do. Team matchmaking adjustments. Players in bronze, silver, and gold can queue for competitive in any team size except 5-player teams. That is the stacking thing we had previously, except in Eternity, which was duos only. Then now, this is as of 3.5, players in Platinum, Diamond, and Grandmaster can queue for competitive in teams up to 3 players. That is new. And players in Celestial Eternity and One Above All can queue for competitive in teams of up to 2 players. This was, I believe, Eternity Plus back in the day, prior to this patch. And now it's looking a little bit different. So you guys probably have all kinds of opinions on this. Again, I've been almost religiously reading about this because there's been a lot of really weird changes with this game. NetEase has been cracking down on Smurfs. I don't like the way they've been doing it. They're also, I think, the only game to do this, as in the Smurfs changes. And now they're also changing whether you are allowed to, how the stacks work. Like, are you allowed to stack and whatnot? And so I'm obviously not too happy about the Smurf thing, mostly because that's a whole different video, I think. But I do like the stacking changes. I think a lot of people see this, they get really pissed off for a lot of reasons. They cite EOMM, right? Like, oh yeah, we can break EOMM by stacking. They cite, oh yeah, our teammates are bad, and whatever. So the thing is with stacking, is a lot of people get bad teammates. Sorry, a lot of people they're like, oh yeah, EOMM gives me bad teammates, I'm just gonna play like in a stack. When you play in a stack, you get better teams in high elo. The way to consistently get high elo, top 500, high top 500 is 3 stacking or 4 stacking because it has the least amount of randomness with the teammates, and you can control it. You can pick players that are really good. I've said it before. If you're a streamer or pro player and you make a stack, because pro players are outside the realms of like matchmaking, you can pick like 3 or 4 fucking pro players, and you're basically you build your deck and you choose 4 S tier players that can like, they're just guaranteed to be S tier, plus you have like your synergy and like whatever, like you have experience with each other, you have like your individual roles, so you're not gonna have a lot of people in the same role, someone having to flex on something they don't know how to play. So obviously stack is pretty good, especially on high elo. Obviously you might get 1 or 2 bad teammates, but you know, that's about it. So people have started stacking because it lowers randomness, it lowers the chance of getting bad teammates. As somebody who does pretty much solo queue only, it's been pretty annoying to see because a lot of people get into higher ranks when they don't necessarily, like I shouldn't say they're bad players, but they don't necessarily put as much work in, and it's pretty much just like, oh yeah, fuck you, I got mine, I guess. You know, they get up there on the ladder and then pull it up behind them. I will say that stacking in general is really strong, and I will say that's one unintended consequence, not only with assuming EOMM is real, which we do at this point. One unintended consequence of having people in stacks is that people never talk about. If all the good players create a stack, suddenly the solo queue pool of solo queue players, the quality deteriorates because all the good players are in a stack. Also, just to dispel any like misconceptions, when it comes to stacking, currently like only 6 stacks can play against 6 stacks, I think. But I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh yeah, if there's a 4 stack to have to get matched with a 4 stack or 3 stack with a 3 stack. I don't think that's necessarily true, but even if it is, if you're a solo queue player, yeah, there's a 4 stack on your team, but it's a 4 stack on the other team, and it just feels terrible because you really don't have a team. When it's a 4 stack, it causes a lot of toxicity because no matter what, you're gonna be the problem every single time because you're not part of the like friend group. Nobody's gonna insult their friends when they underperform. So they just like are 2 times as toxic to the randoms. Again, you're just kind of like playing the game. I played so many games. I played with like good teams, like really stacked stacks, and they don't communicate. They just ego, and they just do their own thing. Like those have been some of the most unenjoyable games ever. Have been when I played with like these super pro 4 stacks because they just don't communicate. It's not funny. It's not a fun game. They're just like jerking off in their Discord. So like you fuck them. And the things with stacking is that when we've done a lot of these solo queue climbs, we've actually done, I remember like being annoyed with this like really long ago. And then they changed something recently where, I think this was like last season, where they made it, if you're Eternity Plus, you have to be, you can only duo and above, which I think is a great change, especially for like one above all Eternity. Like it makes one above all actually mean something. But the problem is that they reset the ranks like every month? Every other month at this point. So for most of a season, especially when it actually matters, you could be a top 500 player, which begins in Grandmaster and 6 stack or 4 stack all the way up there. No problem. You can stack for most of the season until eventually people start getting into not Celestial, but Eternity. That's when like the duo requirement kicks in, which is really at the end of the season. Like there's just not that many Eternity players. So I'm not a fan of that. I think it's a really good change overall because now when you get to GM, you're already kneecapped, only 3 players. And when you get to Celestial, that's only 2 players in a month. So you cannot really get to Eternity with a stack boosting you or abusing the system, so to speak. Oh, that's funny. So let's look at some comments. It's so funny reading the comments because like whenever I've talked about like stacking being a problem, every single game, guys, you have to understand, in every single game that has come out, stacking has been a problem. Because being in a pre-mid party, where you can choose your own teammates, you have your own playstyles that like mesh together, you play your own individual roles, always going to be superior over playing solo queue of 6 solo queues. It's just going to be. You're also more likely to stay in the game and communicate and not leave or rage quit or troll, right? You are eliminating a lot of the bullshit that you otherwise would have when you're solo queuing. It's an insane advantage over those who can't or won't stack. I don't stack because I don't think it's fun. That's the only reason. I didn't do it in Apex. I could easily find a stack in Apex. It's not. I could easily stack in Rivals. Again, it's me. The finals. You get my point. We actually did stack with Craggy and Ethnics at the start of the finals. That was fun. But overall, it's like, I don't think it's challenging enough if you're like at a certain caliber to play in a stack, so I don't do it. I don't think the achievements I get in a stack are worth anything, so I don't do it. I just think being in solo queue is just worth that much more. So I think it's really cool that we're leaning more towards solo queue. You have certain games, you have Deadlock. I know it's not doing too well right now, but it's solo queue only ranked, or was when I played it. And I thought it was pretty great, because it forces people to actually try. And try to work together with what they've got. If you just pick a stack, it's like, oh yeah, well, you just skip the entire solo queue element that 99% of the players have, and you just pick your own teammates, and you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to learn how to cooperate with random people, which I think it's a skill on its own, how to be a solo queue player. And I remember back in Apex, we had something called Realm, which was a solo queue only tournament. Really cool. I had a lot of fun. You could go back, I made a lot of like videos talking about like why it was better that way. But a few major key points as a streamer was like, okay, first off, you get to collab with basically everyone. Everyone's queuing at the same time. You could get like Imperial Hal on your team, or you could get like some random person. Could be either way. And you would have to cooperate and communicate, and you would just have so many like impromptu collabs and just chill games. You would have, and it's just great content overall, right? You'd have more competitive games, because there wouldn't be like that one stack with like several years of experience together, playing together, so everyone would kind of be like having to work with what they've got. And I had more points that I can't think of right now. And I just think that it's a step in the right direction. It's just funny to read the comments where people are pretty much complaining. It's really funny to read, actually. I feel like nobody seems to support this among the vocal majority, and it's so funny to read the comments. And it reminds me of like every time I've complained about stacks or talked about stacks on my stream, because they're always like, oh, I'm just trying to play with my friends. Right? It's like every time we talk about this, get friends, play together. I'm just trying to play with my friends. If you want to play with your Stack So Far, there's a game coming out this weekend. It's Battlefield 6. Go check it out. It's great, actually. It's free early access and beta next week and this week. Really fun game. Played it in LA, had a ton of fun. We're going to be playing it all weekend. Probably going to do like a 12+ hour stream, but that's neither here or there, just saying. But it's like, it's funny how people come at me about this, and now it's finally, like, we literally had a video like a few months ago now, where I talked about, there was a team who was like 6-stacking, so we Q-sniped them and just kind of destroyed them, because they were 6-stacking like late night. That was just funny as hell. I don't have friends to play with, so I don't care, to be honest. You have to keep in mind though, like, if the changes go through, if you only play solo queue, your experience in theory should be a lot better, because your experience as a solo queue player, your experience as a solo queue player, in theory, should improve, because the good players that are like gate kept by people stacking are now free agents, right? Assuming you're like high enough of a rank. Like in theory, a solo queue only ladder is really, really competitive. It's probably the most competitive it can be. The only people who don't want that are people who want to abuse stacks, or who just have never really experienced a true solo queue. True solo queue feels so good. And yeah, but overall, like, I'm kind of excited. We'll see if it sticks. I think it would be cool to see if it sticks. We're just gonna have to wait and see where NetEase takes the game. Really hoping for the best here. And obviously we're gonna be trying to play a little bit of Battlefield when that comes out, which I'm excited about. But I'm still excited about this like stack and change, because it will actually make the game a lot more competitive and give more people a chance to actually climb in this game. I will stand by solo queue and flex queue. Used to make 2 queues already. So the problem with solo queue only queue and a flex only queue is that you're splitting the player base, and it's risky because you're fragmenting it. Every time you make a new playlist, you're fragmenting the player base, and eventually the queue is going to be really long. People aren't really going to be playing as much. And like eventually, I think some queues are going to end up being completely dead. They're going to be completely empty because nobody wants to play. Nobody wants to play solo only or flex only. You need to apply it across the board and have people adjust to make like to get the more healthy changes. Or sorry, to have the community adapt it properly, I should say. Has there ever been an official statement about solo queue mechanics, stacks with the queue into stacks, solos with the queue into solos? Yeah, so what we know on a technical level is with the matchmaking is if you solo queue, you are probably mostly going to play against solo queue players. However, it's more that stacks are usually matching against stacks. If you're free stacking, you're probably going to play against a free stack. And then that, like, the rest of the players might be made up of a duo or a trio or solo queue players. I will say that the matchmaker does seem to prioritize queue time over everything, as with most games, even in high elo, from what I've seen. So happens very frequently, especially with 4 stacks, is that people, if you 4 stack, you're going to get 2 players on your team that are either a duo or 2 solo queue players. And being a 4-stack is like whatever, but being the solo player into that is horrible. And if you're playing like at a too late in the night, late enough in the night or something, it will happen. In EU, we got this stack is running it down, 4-stack of pros, and you're bound to end up in a game if you're solo queuing. If you're just playing, you're bound to end up playing against them or with them, just because of how the game works. Even if you're solo queuing. I mean, this rank system is kind of cooked. I'm gonna be honest with you, but like, we can talk about that all day. I'm pretty late because I just got home technically yesterday. But yeah, my point is I'm so late to the party. I don't think there's a point in even trying to review it or watch it. People aren't gonna care. I don't think they have released anything about that. The thing is, like, with these types of games are rarely open with their what type of matchmaking they have or how it works or anything. Even like NetEase is they have the paper, as does Apex, but it's not like current matchmaking. I was thinking we'll do like a Marvel stream today, and then tomorrow we'll do I kind of wanted to do a Battlefield stream. And of course, I never mentioned, if you guys do want to check out Battlefield and join the biggest beta yet for free, check out the link in the description.